Hi everyone, welcome back to Falcon's House. This is the Lost Vlog, Season 2, Episodes 10, 11, and 12. Claire is watching Mr. Echo as he carved some scripture into a stick that he carries around. She mentions that Charlie is religious because he has a Virgin Mary statue. Echo then gets agitated about it and wants to see the statue immediately. They go to Charlie's stuff and find the statue. Echo breaks it and opens it with his stick. Then, inside they find bags of heroin. Echo then goes to Charlie and demands that he take him to the plane. In the flashback, some Nigerian rebels show up to a village and demand that a boy shoot an old man. He doesn't want to do it and waits. Then his brother grabs a gun and shoots the man. The rebels say that he is a natural killer, and they rip the cross off his neck and take him away. When he grows up, he has become a warlord of the area. There is a drug dealer who is trying to get drugs out of the country, but is not able to because troops guard the border, and the only relief and missionary planes are allowed out. Echo forces the man to sell him drugs for cheap so that he can get them out of the country. Echo then kills the man after he insults him by saying that he has no soul. Echo then visits his hometown where they are selling Virgin Mary statues to raise money for polio vaccines. He asks his brother, who is now a priest, to fly the drugs out for him, saying that they won't be used by the people, and he will give him money for the vaccines. His brother refuses to help. He comes back later this time, asking his brother to make him and his men priests so they can fly it out themselves. His brother declines again, but agrees after he threatens to burn down the church. Echo then buys all of the statues for the polio vaccine and uses them to hide the drugs. They start putting the drugs on the plane when his brother drives up and tells him to not leave. The Nigerian police show up and start shooting at them. Echo blames his brother for calling them. One of his henchmen are killed and his brother is shot. He then puts his brother on the plane, but the henchman prevents Echo from getting on the plane. The military asks him if he is all right, father, thinking that he is the priest that called the drug bust. Locke teaches Michael how to use a gun at his request, first dry firing and then with real ammo. Michael is able to hit the bottle that they're shooting at. Michael then asks Kate for her shift in the hatch. Instead of leaving the computer alone, he continues to talk to Walt. Even though they're not supposed to do this, and he should know better, and it's typical Michael, act first, think later. When Jack starts to walk around and look at the screen, it is now blank. On the way to the plane crash, Charlie and Echo find that the man in the parachute that Boone and Locke had found. Echo recognizes him as the man that saved his life by not allowing him on the plane, and it seems like Echo turned his life around afterwards. Charlie is lost, and Echo tells him to climb a tree. While he is up there, the smoke monster shows up, but Echo is not scared, and he just stands there, defiant. It seems to show some images of Echo passed to him, so it seems like the monster has a way of communicating through images, and has some special abilities like some of the other people, such as Walt. We know that Locke has also seen the monster before, so what did it show him? After the monster retreats, they continue on the plane. Inside, Echo finds his brother and is heartbroken. He takes the cross from his brother's body that originally was his as a child. He then gives Charlie a statue to make up for the one he broke, and they set the plane on fire to destroy the rest. Echo tells Charlie that he is a priest, and they recite from the Bible while the plane burns. When they get ready to get back to the beach, Charlie tries to talk to Claire, but she tells him to leave her and Aaron alone. Charlie has become creepily trying to become a father figure, Charlie goes into the jungle and puts a statue with a bunch of other statues that he has collected. So obviously he hasn't really fixed his problem. Like, he's still powered by the drugs. I really don't like Charlie. I think, like I said, he's a creeper, and hopefully everybody else figures that out as well. Jack goes to the hatch and finds locked Knockout in the gun safe. Michael then comes up behind him with a gun and tells him that he is going to find Walt. Jack offers to help him, but Michael wants to go alone. Jack asks if he'll shoot him, and he says no, but he'll shoot the computer because it is not what you think it is. Michael then locks them in the safe. Michael once again is doing something that is rash and not planned well and probably will end poorly for him. He is one of the most annoying characters on the show. In the flashback, Jack and his dad are doing a consultation on a guy from Italy with spine cancer. His dad doesn't think that they should do the surgery because the risks are high. I think they should try as long as the patient knows the risks. The man's daughter says they came for Jack because they had heard about Jack's wife recovering and he can perform miracles. Jack agrees to operate. After a night of working late, he goes home, and Sarah tells him that she took a pregnancy test, but that it was negative. Jack tells the man's daughter about the risks of the surgery, but she still wants to go through with it. They seem attracted to each other, and his dad walks in on them. During the surgery, he is not able to save the man, and he dies during the procedure. Afterwards, he says that he has to tell the daughter, but his dad already has. Jack finds her in the parking lot, and she kisses him. And he kisses back for a second, then he stops her and says that he can't. He then goes home and tells Sarah about the kiss. She tells him that she is leaving him, and that she has already met someone else, telling him that he always needs something to fix, and she can't deal with it anymore. Kate and Sawyer go down to the hatch after flirting and find Jack and Locke and free them. She then goes to the computer and sees that there's only 3 minutes left and enters the code. Jack says that he is going after Michael to bring him back. Locke and Sawyer go with him. Kate wants to go, but he tells her to stay and watch the computer. While they are tracking Michael, they climb a steep hill, and then Locke asks why Sawyer chose the name Sawyer, where did he get it from, and that he knows his real name is James Ford. I don't know why he brought it up right now, but it doesn't seem important. But it is interesting to want to know why. Before he can answer, they hear gunshots. Once again, they make the stupid decision to start screaming and running towards the gunshots. They then find shells from Michael's gun, but the number of shots they heard doesn't match the number of shells they find. As it starts to get dark, Locke wants to turn around because it is hard to track in the dark. Jack argues, saying they just can't abandon Michael out there. I think Michael made his own choice and they should let him go. You can't save everyone, which is the lesson that the flashback was trying to teach. The man who captured Walt then shows up and refers to them by name. So clearly they are being watched, or Ethan provided the names for them. He then tells them that Walt is fine and they should be not worried about Michael finding them. He says that there is a line they shouldn't cross and that they should leave their weapons and go back. That this is their island and they let the survivors live here. And they open doors that they shouldn't have opened, referring to the hatch. Jack doesn't want to leave and says that they probably outnumber him and the guy who shot the gun out of Sawyer's hand. The man says light him up and about 10 torches ignite, showing that there are more of them. The man then calls for Alex, presumably Russo's daughter, and Kate is brought out. He then starts counting for Jack down to put down his weapons. Jack does, and Sawyer and Locke follow. He knows Locke has a second gun as well, and so he has to give that up. Sawyer says that the business between them isn't over, and they leave. I think that there are two groups of others. This group that includes Ethan and Goodwin and dress like normal people, and a second group that are barefoot and move around silently and have the whispering thing. My friend thinks that this group is from the Black Rock and that they are pirates. I am not so sure of that, and I'm not sure the Black Rock were pirates and that they are that old, but maybe that they are Dharma people. In the hatch, Hurley and Charlie are going through some records, and one is mentioned a lot. Geronimo Jenkins, who Charlie has never heard of. Hurley asks Charlie about Libby, who he likes, but Charlie is still worried about Claire and doesn't really answer him. Jin and Sun talk and find that neither of them want to be told what to do, and Sun has stopped Jin from going after Michael, which is probably for the best. Jack is mad that Kate didn't listen to him. He seems to flip-flop about wanting to be the leader and being able to tell everybody what to do, and not wanting to be the leader when he doesn't want to have to make a difficult decision. Sawyer tells Kate that he would have done the same thing and would have followed them. Jack talks to Ana Lucia about being a cop and wants to train an army. This may be smart at the time of the threat of the others. Even though they did say that they would leave them alone if they didn't cross the line, but you never really know, and you're better off being prepared for whatever could happen. Charlie is having a dream, and dreams on this show have been important. Charlie is a child, and after his brother gets a bunch of presents, he asks where is his, and he gets a piano. His mom tells him that his job is to save them from being poor with his talent. His dad, as a butcher, says he ain't saving no one, and he cuts off a baby doll's head with a meat cleaver. He then is playing a piano in the ocean and hears the baby crying inside the piano, but he is not able to open the top of the piano, and the baby goes into the ocean. In the flashback, Charlie is at the hospital where his brother's girlfriend is having a baby, and naming her after Charlie's mother, who is presumably dead. Charlie then lies about where his brother is and makes excuses for him. When he gets home, he finds his brother is high and not functional. He yells at his brother that he just had a kid and that he needs to be functional. Later, Driveshaft is shooting a commercial, but his brother is too high to function again, and they have to cancel it, and they lose the gig. He is told that they should drop his brother from the band, but Charlie refuses because it is family. He then finds his brother at his apartment, and his brother was kicked out by his girlfriend after dropping the baby. He then starts to work on a new song that will bring Driveshaft back. The next day, Charlie arrives at home, and the piano is gone, and his brother has sold it to pay for him to go to Australia for rehab, so that he can be better for his family. Charlie gets mad and says, "What about his family?" I guess this kind of shows again that Charlie is kind of selfish. His brother shouldn't have sold the piano, and I can get why he's really angry about it. It was a big, important childhood item to him, and it was the means for their future. But on the other hand, his brother needs help. Well, he needs help too, but he doesn't know it yet. Back on the island, Charlie sees Locke interacting with Claire and is jealous. He then tries to bring clean nappies for the baby, but Claire is still mad. Charlie has another dream. This time he looks into the ocean and sees Aaron's cradle floating away. He jumps in after it and brings it back to shore. He then looks at the beach and sees Claire and his mom as angels and Hurley as some other religious figure. A dove flies by. The dream looks a lot like a painting, and in the background there's also the drug airplane crashing. He then wakes up and finds himself on the beach holding Aaron, not knowing how he got there. Claire wakes up to find her baby missing and finds Charlie with the baby, and she is still mad at him for lying. She slaps him after taking the baby back. Charlie tells Echo about his dreams, and Echo says that dreams might mean that Charlie has to save the baby. Charlie then goes to Claire, saying that Aaron must be baptized. Claire tells him to leave her alone. He then goes to where he has hidden the statues and breaks one to get the drugs out. Locke has followed him, and he says that he doesn't trust Charlie to not use, and takes the rest of the statues. and stores them in the hatch where the guns are kept. That night, Charlie starts a fire in the field so that everyone has to go put it out. While he is gone, he takes Aaron and tries to baptize him, but Claire sees him, and Locke convinces Charlie to hand the baby back over. Locke then punches Charlie in the face 3 times, knocking him down. I really dislike Charlie, aside from the fact that he saved Jack in the cave-in when they first reached the caves, and he hasn't done anything for anyone else. Even as recovering addict, he just made a bunch of selfish decisions, and that he claims that he are to help other people. Killing Ethan could really just be revenge for Ethan trying to kill him. He has this weird, creepy obsession with Claire. It's a single mom chaser. And he wants to feel useful and helpful, but really is trying to get in her pants. Trying to save Aaron from Rousseau is trying to get to look good in Claire's eyes. He gets super jealous when Locke helps him with the baby, even though he does it in a normal way and is not weird about it. As much as I dislike Michael for making bad decisions, his motivation is to try and raise Walt correctly. Charlie doesn't have that quality. It's all about him. He hasn't really changed on the island. Dreams are important, so I assume it's foreshadowing that Charlie will have to save the baby for real from the others later on, and that maybe that will be enough to redeem him. The episode ends with Charlie seeking out Mr. Echo and asking about the baptism, and both the baby and her are baptized, which hopefully helps protect them from whatever evil Aaron has been hinted about having, and that why she had to raise him according to the psychic. That is it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share with other Lost fans.